You ready for the video?
Yep.
Let's do it. Okay. It's a big number.
It's a huge number. Absolutely, it's everywhere. You can't get away from it, really.
Let's get rolling.
Well, first of all, I forgot this was about money and sex. I was just like, money, oh my God. Like, woo, cake analogies. Yeah, the cake layer.
My cake.
More money, more problems, maybe? Ooh, I want those shoes. Ooh, I want this. Or like, ooh.
I mean...
Don't tell me that.
Present practice. Was conscious. This is Vish and
McKaylyn.
And today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
How to handle money and sex.
So today I'm here with McKaylyn. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm McKaylyn. I'm a digital marketer, freelance social media manager, and creative enabler.
And I'm an aspiring yogi. I've been meditating for over 4 years now and super into yoga, meditation, wisdom, all that good stuff. Also super grateful for McKaylyn being here. She has some really cool backgrounds, whether it's entrepreneurship, modeling, all of her stuff will be down below. And before we start, would love to hear what your thoughts are about the topics of money and sex. Do you think it's a good thing, bad thing? Yeah, comment that down below. And what's your quick take on money and sex? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad?
I think both things are great. It's about the balance of them, for sure.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great take on that. Would love to hear what Sadhguru has to say about it.
Absolutely.
Well, let's get into it.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
These are two things right now in the world which is taking almost 95% of human energy. Money and sex. Everywhere you see, it's dripping with either money or sex. Every advertisement, every magazine, every book. Is something right or wrong about it? Even 95 is a conservative estimate. Yes, almost 100%.
I love this joyful take on it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, he's great. He brings light
Guruji,
to heavy topics, I think.
this
Exactly.
question is something most of us face in our day-to-day lives. It's about money and why man is so enormously obsessed with money. Is there something like a healthy attitude that one can develop towards money? Can you say something about
What's
it?
unhealthy about money? Money is just a means, isn't it? Man is not obsessed with money. Man is obsessed with what money can buy, isn't it? It is the empowerment that the money brings, which people want. It's not the money that they want, the empowerment that the money gives you, isn't it? The access and the freedom that it gives you with the physical world, which people want. So, money is not the thing. Money as a means, yes. So is something wrong with money? What's wrong? We created it, isn't it? Otherwise we could have still continued our transaction in barter system. Because our transactions got complicated, barter became too tricky. We created currency. Currency became too tricky, so we created a card. So, it is just a means. Is something right or wrong about it? Nothing right or wrong about it.
Very true.
If money is in your pocket, it makes your life easy and comfortable.
Yeah.
Because you have some money in your pocket. You're sitting here today thinking of inner development and things. If you were in the slum with no money in your pocket, today you wouldn't be sitting here doing Shambhavi Mahamudra, isn't it? You would be just struggling to keep that house going, or building a boat to float inside your house. Something like that, isn't it? Because you got little money in your pocket, today you can sit here no matter it's raining, it's going to flood. If it floods, it's okay, we'll stay in the hotel. Because there's little money in your pocket, this much freedom, isn't it so?
Now, even in this present moment, right? Like, look where we are.
There's no money at all in your pocket,
True.
This wouldn't be possible. So nothing wrong with money. Money in your pocket is good if it stays in the pocket. If it enters your head, it becomes a perversion. For most people, it's entered their head and it's become a perversion. Keep the money in your pocket. Makes
you
life
6
easy
feet
and
taller.
good. You can sit and meditate. Yes. If you have enough money that you don't have to work for your living tomorrow, you can just take off 1 month and just meditate, isn't it? Which the man who is struggling for money for tomorrow's food cannot do, even if he wishes to do. So money in the pocket is very good. Money in your head, that's a perversion which will destroy you. You must keep everything in its place. These are two things right now in the world which is taking almost 95% of human energy. Money and sex. These two things are right now consuming almost 95% of human potential.
It's a big
Is it
number.
so?
That's a huge number.
Even 95 is a conservative estimate.
Wow.
Yes, almost 100%. As money is in your pocket is good and nice, similarly if sex is in your body, it is nice. But if it enters your head, it becomes a perversion. It's gotten into people's heads. It's not in their body, it's gotten into their heads. If it was in their body, it wouldn't be all the time. It would be only some time, isn't it? It's gotten into their heads and it's all the time. This is a disease. If you know how to keep money in your pocket and sex in your body, then you would live your life well. You got both these things into your head, now you can't live well. You live like a diseased person because it will rule you from inside and destroy you in many different ways. Everything beautiful about you will be taken away once money and sex enters your head, isn't it? Right now, do you see the whole world is painted either with money or sex? At least the civilized part of the world.
You think so too?
Absolutely, it's everywhere.
Isn't it so?
You can't get away from it, really.
Everywhere you see, it's dripping with either money or sex. Just drive in Bombay city and see. Every advertisement, every magazine, every book, it's either dripping with money or sex. Isn't it so? Now, these two things, if they fall into their natural places, where they should be, they are not a problem. They are fine, they have their own beauty attached to it. But if you exaggerate it in your mind, then everything becomes ugly. So money has become a problem because you don't know where to keep it. Keep it in your pocket. It's a good thing.
Let's get rolling.
Get rolling.
So this was quite an interesting topic.
Yeah.
What'd you think, McKaylyn?
I mean, super relevant. I have found myself recently in a really strong pursuit for money. You know, like it's like, and it's so true when it's like, when it's in your mind all the time, it's just like, that's like what you focus on, and that becomes like your drive. And it's an exhausting drive. It's not like a good thing. I mean, it's great to have goals and want to be successful and want to be able to like give back to your family, but it's another thing to like worry about it, you know what I mean, and make it something that makes you tense or unhappy if you have lack of it.
Yes, no, that was great, and I agree quite a bit. I mean, I think this is the interesting part, right? I think at the end, what is the right amount of money or the right amount of sex for different people? I think it really varies, right? I don't think there's a right number or a magical number. I think the key is not to be a mercy or just not to be a slave to your compulsions, right? I mean, let's be honest, right? Food and shelter as well as reproduction are very natural things, right? It's a part of what makes us human. But I think what makes us not animal, though, is the fact that we have the ability to not give in to those things all the time, or be at the mercy of it. Yeah. What do you think about that?
well, first of all, I forgot this was about money and sex. I was just like, money, oh my God. See, it's a monster. But yeah, I mean, controlling your compulsions, yeah, it's a huge thing. I mean, I will be the first one to admit, like, I can be a little overindulgent, like with shopping and like fun things and like, woo. But it's like, you know, you got to keep it in check because it will destroy you.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's not even about like shopping being bad or like money being bad. As he says, money's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Without money, in fact, both you and I couldn't be sitting here making this video together.
Right.
And so it's something that we need. I think what really, and maybe this is just my personal opinion here, and we'd love to hear your perspective. I think we do need a certain threshold of money, but once we've crossed that, I think there's so many more important things to be focusing on, right? In fact, I forget the exact number. I think it was a couple of years ago. Someone was quoting some study about how, I'm sure it's higher now because of inflation or whatever, you know, growth in the economy. But they said that once you have 60K as a salary in America, I'm sure, again, location matters, but point is, I mean, 60K in California would be not the most, right?
Right.
But point is, versus like Oklahoma, right?
Yes, yes, you could go quite far.
With Oklahoma. Anyways, the point is, once you cross that number, apparently the level of happiness that you get actually tapers off. So whether you have 60K or you have like 600, you would think, right, that 600 is going to make you so much more happier, but it really wouldn't. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I used to have this kind of phrase where I'd be like, I'd rather be crying a Lamborghini than on the street, right? Which, to be honest, okay, let me make a quick, I love calling these the cake analogies.
Yeah.
So the triple layers, as you remember from the last video. So I think the top layers where people are just overindulgent in money, right? And all they do is live for money. They are focused on so much on making a living that they forget to make a life, right? So that's the first layer. The second layer is now, I think, and I've seen this kind of trend, especially with the new age communities of the younger peoples, that think money is an evil thing, right? And that corporations and that government, whatever, all these ruling bodies are bad. And so that's why you got to just leave society and do your own thing. I think that's also a bit too extreme, right? And so the third layer, the bottom layer, the deeper layer, I think is where you realize, as he says, that it's just a tool. You need it in moderation, and the key is not to be identified with it. Enough of me talking. What do you think so far?
Oh, you're all good. Thank you for the cake layer, the cake analogies. Yeah, the cake layer.
My cake.
It's always like cake and eat it too. That's, I feel like, what came out of that video with like the money thing. But yeah, like I think like, yeah, more money, more problems maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to say that though, because it's like, it is like when you're caught up in your day to day. Well, for me personally, when I'm caught up in my day to day, I'm like, ooh, I want those shoes. Ooh, I want this. Or like, ooh, like that looks fun. And yeah, it gets consuming. And it's like important to try and be more mindful about like, is this fueling like my image, my status, whatever, or is it fueling my soul? Because I've, ran into experiences where like I, drop a ton of money on something and then it's just like, ooh, like that credit card interest, you know what I mean? And it's just like, was it worth it? Sometimes, but not always.
No, that's seriously super important to be aware of it. And I think even today, right, tying this back into what I was sharing as well as what you just mentioned, things like social media as well, right? Social media, even I've seen this new trend of whether it's credit cards or whether it's, I forget the exact term, but it's like a pay in 4 or pay in whatever. Have you seen that on like shopping?
Is it like, when you like, pay in 4 installments?
Exactly.
And stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't.
Have you used that before?
I haven't, no, but I've seen that before, and it's just like, it just sounds like you're gonna get roped into something really like not great, because I'm sure the interest rates are just awful.
So I think, to be honest, I don't know too much about the space, but I think there actually is no interest.
What, really?
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? So you might,
Don't tell me that.
well, so here's the thing, right? With exactly your reaction, it almost makes you feel a bit more inclined to make that purchase, don't you think?
Yeah.
So I feel you on that too. And the point is, again, it's not that social media or all these loan options or payment options are evil. No, it's just that I definitely do think that it's becoming more challenging, right? In fact, I used to have this phase as well where first thing, as soon as I wake up, I'd be on my phone, social media, right before I go to sleep, social media. And now I use social media a lot more for just like, more of like sharing wisdom, meditation type of good stuff, connecting with friends. Whereas in the past, I was at its mercy. I was at its slave.
Well, absolutely. It's like, what you have, money, what you look like, sex, it takes away from like who you are.
Literally. And I've realized this too, as you grow older, for example, with like sex or just like the body looks, whatever that means, it's a very superficial thing. I mean, it's not that it doesn't matter, right? And that we just got to all shave and, just not wear anything or whatever that means. But there's a time, right, when you're young, something that would be quite important. I mean, in the sense that like it's just a natural part of life, right? Attraction, whatever. But the point is, it's important to be conscious of the fact that your body only gets older and it goes down. I mean, that's just the reality of life. Yeah. So it's important to simultaneously, or not just simultaneously, but also just have an awareness for a deeper purpose, right? Something that's more fulfilling, because the body's a very fleeting thing. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I want to appreciate you for taking this time. McKaylyn, thank you for being here. Remind the viewers, where can they find you again?
On Instagram at Hello McKaylyn.
She makes some super cool content. Definitely check her out. All of her stuff will be down below. And if you have any other video requests or have any other interest in different types of guests being on the show, you can also comment down below. And with that, make a great day, take a joyful, and stay conscious. Awesome job. You did great.
Thank you. You too.
Perfect.